When it comes to General Hospital, every fan has their own opinion, and Soap Hub is no different. For 5 days, we sat and watched the good, the bad, and everything in between, and now we offer you a handy review, and a cheeky critique, of the GH week that was. General Hospital, a Critics Week in Review. Wow, what a surprise. Peter August's, Wes Ramsey, body wasn't where Hamilton Finn, Michael Easton, and Elizabeth Weber Baldwin, Rebecca Herbst, left it, set absolutely no one watching Tuesday's episode. What was surprising, was the blood droplet found beside the freezer, and the pools of the red stuff found in the corridor, though the less said about why there's blood outside the container and not inside it, where the body lay for quite some time, the better. Perhaps this was General Hospital's sneaky way of letting us know they set up Peter's survival and gave us visual proof, weeks earlier. Remember when Liz frantically chased after Anna Devane, Finola Hughes, hoping to cut her off before she descended down into the basement? For the briefest of moments, she came face to face with, what we assumed at the time, was a physical, and terrifying, manifestation of her guilt, of blood-drenched Peter. But what if that wasn't a hallucination? What if that was Peter, newly sprung from his makeshift grave? Wouldn't that explain the trail of blood and the lack of a corpse? Probably. What it doesn't explain was how 2 highly qualified medical professionals failed to notice that Peter wasn't dead. Wouldn't revealing that he's alive really call into question any future diagnosis made by either Finn or Liz? Further GH musings. Last week, we took the GH head writers to task for failing to adhere to the on-screen bequeathments as laid out in Edward Quatermain's will. This week, we feel that we must point out all the many holes being drilled into the Who Ordered the Hit on Hayden Barnes, Rebecca Buddick, plot. Firstly, just about everybody on General Hospital knows what actually went down. Sam McCall, Kelly Monaco, knows beyond a shadow of a doubt that it was Nicholas Cassadine, Marcus Coloma, ditto Jasper Jax. Hayden told him that little tidbit herself, Laura Collins, Jeannie Francis, and Liz. And yet, Sam and Jax seem totally surprised to be told that Sean Butler, Sean Blakemore, was innocent of the crime. However, we greatly appreciate the recent scene between Sean and Sam in which they ponder the fact that he'd been on the pier the same day that Hayden was shot because he'd been gunning for Drew Kane, the very same man that, as pointed out by the scripter, later married Sam and fathered her little girl. #awkward but necessary. Are we the only ones who feel that Laura and Ava Jerome Cassadine, Maura West, should be able to see through Carly Corinthus, Laura Wright, and Spencer Cassadine's, Nicholas Alexander Chavez, respective role? And speaking of Spencer, seeing him getting shoved into the swimming pool by Jocelyn Jax, Eden McCoy, will never get old. Dear Sasha Gilmore, Sophia Matson, you are going to regret hiring Gladys Corbin, Bonnie Burrows, to work at Deception. Also, shouldn't you run all hires by HR and business partner Lucy Coe, Lynn Herring? Why does Willow Tate Chase's, Caitlin McMullen, deceased baby's headstone still carry the last name Corinthus? Shouldn't that have been changed in the year since the truth came out? We get that Jordan Ashford, Brianna Nicole Henry, has a lot on her plate at the moment, but did she really think that it would be a good idea to leave Stella Henry, Vernie Watson, alone in her office with those divorce papers? Perhaps she was hoping that her meddlesome in-law would snatch them up and prolong the inevitable? General Hospital, GH, airs weekdays on ABC. Check your local listings for airtimes. For more about what's coming up in Port Charles, check out all the latest that's been posted on GH Spoilers, and for an in-depth look at the show's history, click here. Ad block test. Why?